Mayo gets a bad rap. Everyone throws mayo under the bus simply because a few big names have made it bad for everybody. But the simple fact is that mayo is a superfood. It's a combination of superfoods, and it works very, very well on a ketogenic diet. Now, it's not a superfood in the sense that it's a leafy green or a bright berry or anything like that, but it's a combination of collective ingredients which ends up being the perfect kinds of fats that you need on a ketogenic diet. The hard part is when you go to the grocery store, most of the mayo that you're going to find is loaded with either canola oil, soybean oil, or some other low quality oil that's going to throw off your omega-3 to omega-6 values. So let's just get rid of the entire intimidating factor of mayonnaise and let's just make it ourselves. It's way more simple than you may have thought. You are locked into the internet's leading performance, fat loss, and nutrition channel. New videos coming out every single Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday at 7 a.m. Pacific time, as well as a bunch of other videos in between. Make sure you hit that little bell button so you can turn on notifications whenever I go live, and check out highleat.com so you can see the latest and greatest premium performance apparel that I'm always decked out in my videos. So let's get down to some cooking. All right, so this is basic. I can't cook all that well, and I can still make mayonnaise. And the fact is, when it comes down to mayonnaise, usually you have such low quality oils, it's better just to take matters into your own hands and make it yourself. Then you can control the taste, but you can also control the quality. See, a lot of times it starts with the eggs. So when we're making mayo, we want to focus on getting high omega-3 eggs. Almost any mayo that you find in the grocery store is going to have low quality, simple commodity eggs, okay? Nothing crazy. You need to go to the store and you need to get cage-free, organic, pasture-raised eggs, okay? This is what you want because the omega-3 profile is going to be significantly better. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to start with 3 large egg yolks. I'm going to put it in a KitchenAid mixer. You can put it in a food processor, or you can simply just whisk it by hand. It's just going to take you a while. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do, and this is kind of an interesting yet important part, is we're going to add about a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. The reason we're adding Dijon mustard is simply because it's going to keep the yolks from breaking. And by breaking, I mean denaturing the protein. It's going to add an enzymatic effect that allows the emulsification, the actual process to work. So I'm just going to eyeball this, just about a teaspoon there. Just going to add that right to the mix. Okay, nothing fancy at all. Then all we're going to do is we're going to rock and roll. Put this on a nice high speed. Let it start whipping it up, and now is where the magic really happens. So in this case, I'm using avocado oil. The reason I'm using avocado oil is because it's stable. Okay, I don't want to use canola, I don't want to use soy, I don't want to use any of these totally fragile, bad oils that we don't want in our diets, okay? So I'm using avocado oil because it's stable and because it's a nice balance of omega-3, omega-6. But more importantly, it's just a good stable oil that adds a nice rich flavor to it. So now that I've got the eggs going, the trick is to add this very slow. You don't want to be adding this fast. If you add it fast, you ruin the entire thing. And all I have here is a cup, 1 cup of avocado oil. You have to add it slow. I can't overemphasize that. If you add it fast, you're going to break down the proteins. Another thing you have to be very careful of is when we add the salt, we're adding it at the end. We do not want to add the salt in the beginning. Again, it breaks down the proteins. You have to add that after the fact. Extremely, extremely important. Everyone gets so afraid of mayo. I don't know where it came from, but mayo is exactly what you need on a keto diet. Add it to your chicken breasts, add it to your beef, whatever you need to do. Put it on top of a burger. And this is already starting to look like mayo. All right, so after the cup of oil has been added in, it's pretty much all whipped up. Okay, this is what I want. I've got the foundation of mayo here, but now is where we can start adding the spices. So here's what's really funny. With the ketogenic diet getting super popular, you're seeing all these like designer mayonnaise coming out, like different kinds of designer mayonnaises, like so many different flavors, spicy mayonnaise, jalapeno mayonnaise, this and that, just because they're playing on the keto game and they're charging like $9, $10, $11 for it. That's a joke. That's ridiculous. This has cost me like $1 to make. So now is when you can get creative. You can have some fun with it. If you wanted to add jalapenos into it, you could. I'm going to make mine super simple, but I do have a nice little twist I'm going to add to it. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on a low mix right now, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put a little bit of black pepper in, just so it gets a little bit of a zest to it. Okay. Now, you're going to want to add some lemon juice to it. Okay, now the cool thing about lemon juice, if you make it heavier on the lemon, and you can even put some lemon zest in there where you actually put a little bit of the peel, then you get some of the pectin effect too. So the pectin is actually going to help you keep you satiated, and you're going to be able to extract some of the oils from the peel as well if you do that. So you actually get a double whammy effect. But I'm just going to add probably about a teaspoon of, about half of that. Let that mix, maybe turn it up for a second. Okay, now as I'm getting towards the end, now is when I'll add the salt. So in this case, just kind of eyeball it. probably go for a teaspoon, maybe 2 teaspoons. Whip it up a little bit heavier. And lastly, this is where we can have some fun with it. I'm gonna actually add some avocado to the mix. Why? Because I like avocado and I want real avocado mayo. I don't just want avocado oil mayo, I want real avocado mayo. So I've got about 1/3 of a medium-sized Hass avocado here. Just gonna add that into the mix. All right, so let's give this a try. Oh gosh, that is seriously probably 3 or 4 times creamier than the kind of mayo that you would get at a grocery store. And the avocado gives it just enough bite, like just enough smoothness, but also a little bit more of a thickness. Like you don't get a normal thickness with mayo. It kind of feels almost gelatinous, whereas this is smooth. This actually tastes like something gourmet. So, I mean, literally, we're looking at something that's nice and thick, but not overly thick and not like completely coagulated. So this would go perfect on top of some kind of really nice gourmet burger or something like that, right? Something that's gonna really deserve a homemade mayo. But more importantly, this is gonna keep for a while. This is gonna keep for a few days in the fridge so you can make small batches of it so you can throw it on whatever you want. Throw it on your burgers, throw it on your chicken, throw it on your salmon. People have made fun of me because I put mayo on salmon, but honestly, if you're using good quality mayo, who cares? It tastes great and it brings out the flavor. And since we use the avocado oil, we have a nice stable oil that we can actually bring over some heat if we really needed to. So there you have it. This is how you make keto mayo. The world is your oyster. You can literally add whatever you want into this as long as it's not gonna break down the fatty acids, as long as it's not gonna totally denature it. You don't wanna load it up with a bunch of hot sauce, but some jalapeno or something in there might be perfect. So make sure you're keeping it locked in here on my channel. If you have ideas for future videos or you wanna see me do some more recipe type videos, make sure you put them down in the comment section below. That way I can bring them to life. So as always, make sure you're locked in here. I'll see you in the next video.